Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another full body workout for you guys. And rehabbing my lower back is going better and better. I got a little more work done in on the front squats, and actually I woke up with no pain. Actually, the last 2 days in a row I woke up with no pain or cramping or discomfort doing day-to-day activities in like my lower back. I noticed on each of these sets though, when I rack it, that I do feel some discomfort in there, and it seems to be related to any posterior pelvic tilt that occurs. So that's the thing that really seems to be aggravating it for me, is any posterior pelvic tilt happening. It's not necessarily shear stress on my back, it's that pelvic tilt. And so if I squat so deep that I get pelvic tilt, which does happen ass to grass for almost everyone, it can become a problem for me. And sometimes when I'm re-racking the weight, or if I lock out too hard at the top. So I have to lock a little soft on the top of my squats right now, because sometimes my hips will roll forward, my pelvis will roll under, and I'll get that pelvic tilt if I'm not careful. And I did notice it a little bit when I racked the second set with 225, which I did 2 sets of 5 with that today. So like I said, I'm going to stick with 225 till I can do 3 by 8. And then I'll work it up from there. So we're just going to have to keep working on this. And that's the main thing, is avoiding posterior pelvic tilt. So I'm having to learn to sit consciously more. I'm having to stretch my glutes and things out more, because that's a lot of what's contributing, is things like tight glutes, pulling my pelvis under, adjusting technique, better bracing of my core on all this squatting. That's why, again, I'm going back to beltless. Doing the beltless stuff, being conscious of my depth so that I can maintain hamstring tension and not necessarily go ass to grass, but just break below parallel and maintain anterior pelvic tilt, because that seems to be the critical component for me for avoiding that lower back pain. So it's going to take some work, and I'm just going to build it back up. And like I said, I'm taking this and using it to my advantage. I'm going to use all this to clean up my squat, strengthen my core, keep working mobility, and I'm going to use this time to specialize in the press, because the press builds your core tremendously. But I do need to specialize in it. I feel like it'll help me attain, again, a better shoulder girdle, better triceps, better delts, better traps, all that stuff that I'm going to need as I continue to get leaner. So I'm doing a lot more work on it, and actually I'm doing it lighter. I'm almost greasing the groove with it now. So I've started doing just work sets with 135 on the press on my off days from training, which is what I've done the last couple days, interestingly enough, between that and a diet break, because I don't want to keep cutting. I'm just staying at maintenance. And for people curious, yeah, I'm back up to like 213 from 209, because I regained a little water while being on maintenance for a couple weeks. And that's okay. Some people, it's kind of funny. They're like, oh, you're looking skinny. It's like, guys, I've put on 4 pounds of water again. I shouldn't be looking too skinny. And once my back is feeling a little better, I'll ease back into a deeper deficit and continue this cut. But in the meantime, I'm just staying right at maintenance calories, because I don't want to cut too hard when I can't train my legs hard. I'm definitely worried about losing muscle. Is this going to interfere with the coming DEXA? Probably a little. I have to live with it. You know what, and I'll publish the results of it no matter what, when it happens, and I'm going to publish the last one too, and we'll see the change. But you guys have seen what's happening in my training. It's not like they're excuses. You guys can flat out see I haven't been doing as much leg training. So am I worried that's going to cause, unfavorable results on the lower body on the DEXA? Possibly. But I'm going to have to live with that. I'm going to have to live with it. And you know what? We'll have another one in 3 or 4 months. So it's all good. But me doing all this extra pressing, PR the close grip today, you guys catch that? 3 by 5 with this weight. This was my 3 by 4 weight over a week ago, right? Now I'm doing 3 sets of 5 with the same weight. Pause, everything strong, nice strong pauses, 3 by 5 with this weight on the close grip with a pause, legit pause reps, every single one of them. So the pressing strength is coming along, and I think just being back at maintenance calories for a week or two, for a couple of weeks, has really helped that. I think it's helped it a lot. Probably bringing my metabolic rate back up a little bit. Short diet break just to recover before we ease back into that cut, because we do need to get down under 200. Like and when I say under 200, I don't mean I'm stopping at 199. I think realistically I probably need to cut to 190. Let's be honest here. I need to cut to 190 and then assess if I want to lean bulk or maintain or whatever, but I probably need to be in that 190 to 195 range. I think for my frame, it's probably closer to ideal. I think that's what I probably need to do. Pull-ups were a little tough, But I also got a bit of a rep PR on the press today also. After getting that better close grip, right? We picked up a little bit of volume PRs, at least during the cut for the close grip, right? And then I picked up a rep on the AMREP set at the end on the press. So pressing strength is improved. Now, does this mean my delts or triceps or whatever getting stronger? Probably all of the above. That's a good thing though. We need those muscles stronger. Those are really, they're show muscles in a way. So I mean, guys who are chasing that look, those are good muscles to bring up. And even though I've been powerlifting and all this stuff, as I cut down, I do think that things like that can enhance your look. And that's kind of the point I make to people. Just because you say, okay, I have some lagging body parts, or I know I would look better if I put more work into these, it doesn't mean you can't pick functional exercises to do that. I mean, you want to bring up your shoulder girdle. What's wrong with doing standing presses? That's a fantastic lift. Yeah, it's great. Sure, you could do some lateral raises, and hell, I might need to at some point, or more face pulls or whatever, but don't neglect the press. Get in and do some more pressing first. Guys are like, oh, I need more pecs, and they want to add another exercise in. We'll do some deep weighted dips, man. Don't be afraid to use big exercises that carry over to other endeavors into your sports and function and everything. When you have lagging body parts, don't be afraid of those exercises. It's just kind of like guys are like, well, I think my quads need a little more work. It's like, where do you really need leg extensions, or do you have the recovery to get away with some front squatting? Right? I mean, that's the way that you should look at this stuff, guys. And that's what I'm trying to promote to people. You can use the big exercises even for your quote unquote bodybuilding purposes, even though I don't classify that as bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is about getting down to 5% body fat and flexing on a stage. That's bodybuilding. It's nothing to do with hypertrophy. Everyone trains for hypertrophy. Every single athlete on earth who lifts weights is trying to gain muscle. All right? It's not bodybuilding. But you guys know what I mean. For hypertrophy purposes, even weak points, it doesn't mean you can't choose big, effective exercises to put more work into. So like for me, I'm going to specialize in the press a bit, mainly because I think it's just a badass all-around lift. It has fantastic carryover to a lot of things. It can put a lot of muscle on you in a lot of places, in addition to just being a shoulder exercise. But it's just an all-around awesome manly lift. It's like when you think of the press, like you think of websites, you go see the art of manliness. I mean, you think of the press or the deadlift, right? I do. So yeah, it's a great lift. It is a great lift. And it's got to be one of my two favorites at this point, deadlift and the press. In fact, I'm making the press my favorite for now because I want to specialize in it. And that's what you do. When you have a lift that you really want to get good at, you convince yourself it's your favorite. You make it your favorite lift. And that's what I'm doing with this lift. And I love it. I love it. In fact, I'm doing it every day a little bit now, even with lighter weight, getting more work capacity in. And it's paying off. Having done that a little bit this last week, we came in and I micro-loaded this up. This has been my 3x5, but I threw, if you can see the little micro plates on, I threw the 1 1/4 Keno Booty micro. Yes, I bought his micro plates. Don't tell him that though, guys. He's going to be like, oh my God, he bought one of my products. They were priced really well. I grabbed them on Amazon a while back, but they were the best priced micro plates in that range. So I grabbed them. All right. So that being said, see, he does make something useful. So yeah, this is my 3x5, what I've been doing, and I threw the micro plates on. So we did that, but then we did the 185, which I got for 3 last time at the end of a training, and I couldn't get the 4th one past my head, right? It stuck around my eye level. And today we got that 4th one. It was a little grindy. Actually, I haven't seen the footage yet. I'm seeing this footage for the first time since I filmed it. So let's get over to this one. And, I got my head straight for it, got my breathing down. I try to stay calm. That's the other thing I try to tell a lot of guys, man. Don't get overly psyched if you're going to do a lot of heavy training without drugs to recover. There's something to be said for low psychological arousal, focused. But I got my 4, and the 4th one was a little bit grindy. It was a little bit grindy, but we did get it. We did get it. I had to take a breather. It was a rest pause. I took a breath, got that deep breath, drive, and we got it. It was a little sloppy, but I locked it at the end. I'm counting it. Some guys would be like, I don't know, man. I'm not going to count that. Your head didn't come forward. You know what? F you. I got that rep. Your mama didn't get it. I got it. get my wraps and everything off. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.